friends and welcome to RPA Tutorials. This is part 2 of Smart Recorder demo. Hope you liked part 1 of this demo wherein we detailed object cloning command. If you haven't watched that video, click on the link flashing on the top right corner of your screen. In this demo, we'll cover a more elaborate use case of the Smart Recorder and the object cloning command, and we'll also use some other commands to achieve the purpose of this demo. Before moving ahead, if you like our videos, do hit the subscribe button below. In this demo, we are going to cover the Smart Recorder, of course, which will include the object cloning command. We're also going to cover the open program command, read from CSV or text file command. We'll also show you how to create and assign values to a variable and use them in a bot. And then we'll also show you the wait command and how it's different from the delay command. So plenty of capabilities demonstrated in one video. The application that we have used for purpose of this demo is Inflow Inventory 3.5.2 free edition. You can Google this and you can download this and use for your own purposes as well. This is an inventory management system, and I got to know about this tool thanks to the tutorials posted by Automation Anywhere. And we'll be using this application to create multiple product master entries after reading them from a text file. So for the purpose of this demo, we'll be using these 4 product entries. You can see it's not very elaborate, but it has values which are item name, of course, as the unique ID which we'll assign to the product, the type of the product, the category to which the product belongs, the cost, and the price. So let's start with the demo. We already have the Inflow Inventory application opened here. This is the home page, and this is what comes when you open the Inflow Inventory applications. As you can see, it has the procurement side of things. You can create a purchase order, maintain vendor data, and similarly it has the order side of things. You can maintain customer data, create sales order, and all of this will interact with your product master, and you can also maintain stock and do stock management activities. So it's a very basic application. It's not as sophisticated as your SAP ERP or Oracle ERPs or some other ERPs that might be in use in your company, but it does give us a platform to demonstrate a very common use case, which is a prime candidate for automation across companies, and that's master data management activities. MDM activities by nature are repetitive and quite laborious, and it's very rule oriented and step by step based, so you can easily automate MDM activities, and that is something which we're going to demonstrate here. Now the data that you saw in the previous slide on the products, and that data we have stored in a text file here, and as you can see, the rows in the table are now represented as rows in this text file, wherein value in each column are separated by commas. So you can see this is the item type, this is the type of product, category of product, cost of it, and then the price. So you've stored this in a text file, and this is something which we'll call while editing the task. So to get there, let's go to Automation Anywhere client, select Smart Recorder, and start recording with the Inflow Inventory application. It's already selected here for us. So we'll click Start. First step is to click on the inventory box. It will open a new tab called Product, which lets us create new product in the product master. So we have to capture all the steps since we are recording this for the first time. So we'll click on New Product, then we'll click on Item Name Code. Let's enter a dummy value for now. Let's enter prod dummy 2. Let's select type as stock product, category as default, let the cost be 30 and the price be 50. Click on save and stop recording. Let's save the task as smart recording demo to inflow and click on save. The task editor should open up any moment, and as you can see, it has perfectly captured all the steps that we had performed in all these object cloning commands. So what we have done here is basically we have hard coded the values that will go into the product master while creating a new product. And what we need to do now is make this task reusable, make this code of or this set of actions reusable, so that the same set of actions can be performed for multiple while creating multiple product entries into the master. So let's start by inserting the read from CSV or text command. So we want to read the values, the multiple entries that we want to create in the inflow inventory application. We want to read those values from a CSV text file. So we'll take this and we'll place it below the first step. We'll select a text file, select file, product master. Our delimiter was comma. We'll trim any leading or trailing spaces and we'll click save. So what it does is, after clicking that first inventory box on the first screen that you saw, it will now start to read from the file. And for each row in the CSV text file, or in our case the text file, it will start a loop. What we need to do is, we need to perform all the actions that we just performed, that we recorded, for all the rows in the text file. So to do that, we'll have to include all these activities within the loop. So I'll just I think I've double clicked on a command, so I'll drag this end loop to the last action, and so that's it. So we're basically saying that perform all these actions for each row that you read in the text file. Now let's just start step by step and check whether all the details are captured accurately or not. So we'll click on edit here. So we'll see the image. So this is the inventory box that we clicked on the first step. So it's captured quite well here. We click save. Then it says read from text. Then it says click push button new. It opens up here as well. So it's captured the image as well quite beautifully. And similarly, all the other actions have also been captured quite well. So now recall that when we started recording this task, our application was already open. Now we want to make our task self-sufficient so that it opens the application on its own, reads a file, reads the values in the file, and for each of the rows in the file, it creates a new product entry. So we'll have to include an open program file command here. So we'll double click the open program file command. Now we'll have to enter the path of the application. So I'll go back to desktop. I'll find the target path of this application. I'll copy this. Just cancel. I'll paste it here and I'll click save. So it has inserted this at the last, so we'll have to drag this as the first step. We'll have to drag the object cloning one below. Yeah, that's how it works now. So the first step for now is open the inflow inventory management application. Now if you remember, in one of our other videos we showed you how you can use the delay command, and one of the key disadvantages of the delay command is that it basically hard codes the time for which you want to delay a task by. So if you say I want to delay a task by 20 seconds, it will just wait for 20 seconds. It will not look for an action to happen or something, or a sort of a trigger for it to move on to the next steps. So what we now want to do is use the wait command. So we'll drag the wait for window command here on top of the open file program, it opens up this delay wait pop-up. As you can see in the delay, command, you have to enter a regular delay, which is basically hard coding the time. In wait for window, what you do is you enter an upper limit. So you select the window for which you want to wait. So I'll select the inflow application, and then I'll ask the task to wait for 30 seconds. And if it doesn't open in 30 seconds, I'll direct the task to a bot. So what it does is, if the task now opens in 10 seconds, it will not wait for the entire duration of 30 seconds, but after 10 seconds, as soon as the application opens, it will move to the next step. I'll click save, and the wait for window command is inserted. So great. So far what we have achieved is we have managed to insert an open program command. We have managed to insert a wait for window on the open program file command. Then we have managed to create a loop wherein we'll be reading line by line data from a text file. Do note that every row that the task reads from this text file, the values that it will read will get stored in the file data column variable, as it says here. Now what we want to do is, we want to replace the values that we hard coded while recording by variables. So first what we need to do is, at runtime, Automation Anywhere stores the values that it reads from the text file in this particular variable, file data column variable, and so it's an array variable. So we'll create 5 variables because we need 5 values. As you can recall, we need the item code, the type, category, cost, and normal price. So we'll create 5 variables for all these values, and at runtime we'll dynamically allocate values to these variables as per what Automation Anywhere reads from the text file. So to create the variable, go to Variable Manager, select Add. The first variable for us, if you recall, was item name. Click Save. It throws a warning that you're assigning null value to the variable. Are you sure you want to continue? So we will continue. We'll assign a value to the variable later. So it creates a local variable called item name. Similarly, we'll create more variables. We'll create item type. Yes, for now null value would be fine. We'll create item category. Click Save. Null value is okay for now. Then we'll create item cost. Yes. And item price. Save. Now you want to use these variables that you've just created during runtime. So I'll close the Variable Manager, and for each row that the Automation Anywhere reads from the text, I will assign the values read into these variables that I just created. So for that, I'll use the variable operations command, and I'll drag this here. I'll select the variable which I want to assign a value to. So the first variable that I want to assign a value to was item name. I'll press F2. I'll scroll down to find file data column, and since it was an array variable, it stores value in form of an array. So I'll select the first column because the item name will be stored in file data parenthesis 1. So I'll select the column number as 1 and press save. So as you can see, there's a variable operation command inserted, file data column 1, which will essentially store data on the name of the product. Will now be assigned to the item name variable. I'll insert more variable operation commands, and now I'll select item type, press F2. The second value that the file data column stores is item type, so I'll select column 2, OK, and save. So it's got inserted below this command, so I'll drag this one below. Oops, so I'll just reorder them to make, yeah, now it's perfect. Similarly, I'll insert 3 more variable assignment commands. So the next one is item category. This will be stored in the third column of file data column. Save. Next is file. Next is item cost. That's the fourth column. File data column. Click save. And the last one is price. That's the fifth one in file data column. Great. So my task is almost complete. Just one thing now, the values that I hard coded, I need to replace them by variable names. So line number 13 is where I'm entering the first value. So I'll edit this. Instead of this hard coded text, I'll insert item name variable. So I'll have to remove the text as well. Click save. Now line number 15 is where I am selecting the type from a drop down. So I'll remove this hard-coded stock product and replace it with item type. Line number 17 is where I am selecting the category. I'll replace this hard-coded category with a variable that I just created. And then line number 18 is for cost. 30 is the cost that I set. I'll replace this with cost. Forgot to remove 30. We'll just remove 30 now and click save. Instead of 50 here in price, I'll remove 50 and I'll insert item price. So that essentially completes my task. Now what my task will be able to accomplish is it will open the Inflow Inventory Management System. It will wait for 30 seconds for the application to open. If it opens before 30 seconds, it will proceed to the next steps. If it doesn't open, it will abort the task. In case it opens, it then starts reading from a text file which has line by line information stored, which needs to go into the product master, and each line the values are separated through a comma delimiter. So, and there are 5 values in each row: the item name, type, category, cost, and price. For each of the row, there will be a set of actions that will be performed over and over again under loop iterations. And during runtime, the task will read values from the text file, assign it to local variables that I have created, and then in the next iterations, those local variable values will be overwritten by the values stored in the next line in the text file. So it should work in theory. Let's now see whether it works in practice. So I'll click save. I'll minimize this. I'll first close the Inflow Inventory application, back to Automation Anywhere client, and close the task editor, and we'll run the task from here. It's already selected. We'll click on run. The task begins to load. It's opening the application. It's waiting for the application to load. Once open, it will move to the next line, which is object cloning. It's at line number 3. We should see the cursor move to inventory box anytime. There you go. And it's not clicking, so there is some error at line number 3 which we need to correct, because it's not clicking and it should throw up an error right now. Yeah, search criteria did not match. Okay, no worries. We close the application, we go back into Automation Anywhere, we open the task in editor mode. So essentially what has happened is in line number 3, while trying to locate that inventory box which it needs to click, some of the values might have changed. Some of the value might be dynamic and it's not able to completely identify that box. So what we'll do is we'll just change the play mode, and I hope you know about the play mode from our demo video number 1 on object cloning and smart recorder. If you haven't, check out our part 1 of the smart recorder demo. So we'll select image. Coordinates are always dicey and it's not the best way to run a task. So we'll select image. It's quite perfectly captured here. We'll select the action that needs to be performed, left click, and we'll click save. We'll save the task, go back to Automation Anywhere client, and we'll run the task again. The task is loading, the application is loading, it's waiting for the application to load. Application is now open. There you go, it locates the inventory box quickly, clicks on it, the product tabs open, clicks on new, and we are already started with the first entry, prod 01. The type here is stocked, category default category, the cost and price as you can see. It clicks on new, prod 02, different type and different category this time, and it saves. On the left hand side you can see that all those items getting saved, prod 01, 02. Now it's at prod 03. Selects the category, enters the cost and price, and click on save. There you go, the third product is created and it's working on the fourth and last one. And just to check the robustness of the task, we selected a different item type for all the 4 products and it has perfectly executed the task for us. And we'll enter the price, click on save. There you go, the task has completed and we have 4 products here in the product master, prod 01 to prod 04, 2 of them in demo category, 2 of them in default category, but all of them of different types. So that brings us to the end of this video. If you like our video, do subscribe to our channel.